Nothing's off limits with this duo. It's father and daughter, Don and Cher. And join the club if you're a chattermouth.
Hey y'all, it's Cher and Dawn. And welcome back to the Chattermouth Podcast. So today I thought we should do something really fun and answer some of your questions on chattermouthpodcast.com. People can write in, ask questions. We also went over to Reddit to find some really juicy questions that we wanted to put our input in. So I'm going to go ahead and just start reading them, and then we can kind of chat about this, because a lot of the questions that people have and that they're experiencing, a lot of us might have experienced it too. So it's super interesting. Should we start?
Yes, let's start.
Okay.
I'm going to let you read because I don't have my glasses.
Of course.
I forgot them.
That's all right. All right. So the first one is, all right, I asked my mom to help me take care of my newborn so I could go back to work once my leave is up. Mind you, my mom is 64, has been a homemaker, stay-at-home mom since 1992, and hasn't been part of the workforce since then. She refused, saying that she's too old and that she already raised her own kids. She also added that if I really wanted this baby, then maybe I should have thought about staying home like she did to take care of it, while my partner goes to work and provides for us like a traditional family, and that if she and my dad were able to make it work out, then we can too. However, we're just coming out of a pandemic, going into a possible recession, and there is just no way my partner and I can make it financially on one income. I make $55,000 a year, but I have $39,000 in student loans, plus $20,000 in other debt and credit cards and medical debt on credit, all of that. So my partner, he makes about $36,000 a year and has $5,000 in credit card debt. I, as the higher breadwinner, have an internal obligation to go back to work, since not only I have the most at stake, but I also make the most to keep our family afloat. So we are currently in a small one-bedroom apartment in the metropolitan area and would need to save money to move to a two-bedroom once the baby grows up in a couple years and as we need more space. So when I explained all of this above to my mom, she then proceeded to say that she will charge me $20 an hour for each hour she takes care of my baby, plus late fees if we're late to pick her up, and must provide her with a car seat, a stroller, bottles, and pretty much everything that we have at our home to compensate for taking the baby to her house. She will not step foot in my house for her own personal reasons. She's come in once, and I've lived with my partner for 5 years, and she's only a 15-minute drive away. I want to save money to bring down our debt, and I don't want to pay her as much nor invest as much in double of everything, as it will spiral into more debt for me and my partner. I'm on the fence about enrolling my baby into an infant daycare instead, as the cost will overall be lower and a little closer to our home. Due to our jobs, we just cannot work from home, so we're in desperate need of childcare. Everyone else in our family works full-time, so they cannot help us, as they have a similar 9-to-5 schedule. So am I the asshole for wanting my mom, who again is at home all day long, trust me, she does not do anything besides watch TV and cook meals, to take care of my baby for free while me and my partner try to fix our finances?
Wow, now that's a really good question. There's a lot going on there, I feel. I honestly understand both points of view. As a mom and older like her, almost her age, I understand that she already brought up her children. She already gone there, did that, and now she finally feels like it's her time. Because as a mom, you know, we all put in so much work and effort. So she wants her time. But then on the other token, it's your daughter, and your daughter needs help. And how can you say no to your daughter? So it's really a very fine line as what to do. I guess she feels like I know Daddy always says that. Well, if we did it, why can't they do it that way too? Like
You said that to me recently.
Yeah,
with
Daddy
moving. I
believes that.
I was moving, and my dad. They usually always come up and help for everything, which is so nice. And my dad was like, "You know what? Me and Mommy were able to move all by ourselves. Like you should be able to do it too," which is true. But if you have the help, it's nice to like have help, especially when you have like a little one running around. It's really hard to like pack up all your stuff. It's nice to have the additional help.
You know, there's so many different ways of looking at it. You know, when you get older, honestly, you know, when you're in your 60s, you say, how many good years do you have left? I have to be honest. What do you say? You say you have 20, hopefully, if you make it to 80, you know, good years left. So, and those years go so fast. So do you want to raise another child? I mean, it's so much work. And I guess she feels also as a mom, she's feeling, well, you know, they took care. You know, we did it. Why can't you handle it yourself? Why do you have to put all that on me?
But the difference is she's willing to do it for money.
I think it's not real. I honestly don't think it's the money. I think she said, well, you'll pay me over fees because she doesn't want to be taken advantage of and be picked up, the child be picked up late every day. And probably she knows her daughter saying, oh, she's with Mom. I'll go have a drink with my girlfriends afterwards. So I think she purposely said that. I don't honestly think the mom needs the money. I think she just wants to
like be respected.
Be respected, exactly. And say this is, you know, then you need to also give a little too.
But, you know, when you raise a kid, when you're having a child, a lot of times it takes a village, especially it's hard. Like her mom, obviously, you know, she has loans, she has credit card debt. Like it's very difficult. And,
but,
you know, you need your family when you're having a child.
But again, I don't think the mom is saying you don't have me. It's just, you know, it's
she is saying that. She's saying you need to pay me in order to be there.
Every single day. I mean, this is a job. This is not just coming over for the weekend and letting her daughter and her son-in-law go out for dinner or, you know, this is something that she's going to have. This is a real job that she's now going to have to undertake every single day. And she's already had that job and she finally is able to breathe a little and she wants to be able to. So I guess
what do you do?
It's a very hard decision.
I think that a lot of people your age, like, that's a big thing. Like, a lot of my friends went back to work and their mom or their dad are there helping the kid. It's very common.
It is very common. I'm not saying it's not
so
common.
So what would you
it's
do
difficult.
if I asked you every day?
Well, I wouldn't say no. I wouldn't say no, but Daddy would. Honestly, Daddy would. He wouldn't do it. I know he wouldn't. It would cause definitely an uproar in the family. Because he wants his time now. I think when you get older, a lot of times you get more selfish. Maybe because you know there's not that many more years left. So, and you look at things a little differently. So I think he would definitely not want it and be upset with it. I'm maybe just more, you know, good-natured, or I feel for you. At being a mom and knowing how hard it is, I probably would say yes. But it is difficult because you're supposed to now have your time in it. And I'm sure she's a little upset by now she's not having her time.
But you have to remember it's not forever. It's just for like the first 2 years because then they go to school. You know, there's normal school or the first, I guess it could be the first 4 years of life. But
well,
then
she might
go to school.
Then have another kid. And also she's probably saying, well, you have these credit card debts. But what are all these debts? Why did you have to build up such credit card debt? You know, like there's a lot that goes into it. You know, you're only hearing one side of the story, but I understand it. A lot of parents do it, but it's hard. It's, you know, it's giving up your life, your last 20 years.
Well, it's not forever, and it's you getting to spend special time with your kids or your grandkids. Like, how special is that? Those memories are forever.
Of course the memories are forever, but coming over for a weekend, but not something that you know is routine, that you're being relied on every single day, 5 days a week. It's a lot. from 8 to 5 or 9 to 5.
But didn't your grandparents watch you every weekend growing up?
Yes, but it was the weekend and they looked forward to it. It wasn't a job. It's something they wanted to do.
Well,
for her,
that's what she
it's
wants.
a job.
Correct, but she wants it to be something that she looks forward to. Every day she gets to spend time with the kids. It's just for a few hours.
It's not a few hours.
9 to 5.
It's a long day. So
Right,
she's
but
taking them all day. And then who knows, like probably later than that, or the daughter will be working late one night. So then it turns into, and then what happens the weekends? And, it just can start taking advantage of. So I do see both points of view. What's the happy medium? Well, I guess maybe getting daycare, she says, would be cheaper, but then it's not still as the grandma.
Honestly,
So, I
if your
don't
mom
know.
doesn't want to take care of your child, I mean, I don't know. It doesn't sound like she wants this, and so personally, I would do daycare over the mom. You trust your mom more, but if your mom's not into it, she's not there,
Right.
she's not fully happy and committed in it, then it's not going to be a great experience either.
No, it won't, because
So.
then her emotions and her personality is going to be harsh towards the child, and it's not going to be a really good environment for the child because her resentfulness will come out towards the child. So you can't push someone to do something if they don't really want to, because the end result isn't going to work out.
Right. It's hard. It's a hard situation. I would say put them in daycare though.
I would too, or find someone that could come to the home or
It's
like
sad
that.
though. I do think when you're a mom for life.
You are a mom for life. You are a mom for life, and I don't think she doesn't want to
get it,
be a
though.
mom. It's a hard situation.
She
There's
just wants
no
to be a
really-
grandma. She doesn't want to be a mom. She wants to be a
Exactly.
grandma.
She wants to be a grandma. So it's a very hard situation. There's really no right answer.
So what is the right answer? For example, what about if she just committed to like 1 day a week? Maybe she could work part-time, 2 days a week. She can go back part-time and then have her mom. Do you think that would be a better? Like, what would you do in this situation?
I would be very happy if you would compromise with me, and I would take the child like 2 days a week, and maybe you could work 3 days a week, or just have someone else take care of the other days, and then everybody's happy, and that good feeling, that good environment for the child would be there. Yes. And then I think if you're compromising and you're showing that you want your mom to help, but I understand that you want a life too, so how about we just work together on this? Just not all or nothing.
Right. It's a hard situation, though. All right,
Yes.
let's get to the next question.
Okay.
All right.
That's a good one, though.
I know. All right, so I got a job at 15 and started my own college fund because I had been told by my mom that since I was young that she would not pay for my college for me and that I'm on my own. My mom helped me set up a bank account and that I would not have access to until college, and the majority of my paychecks went into it. I wasn't working full time, so I didn't make bank, but I had a good chunk, enough that I was feeling secure. I'd still need some loans, but not nearly as much. A while ago, my mom mentioned a bonus that she got at work and told me that she was thinking of getting some work done. I supported her because I don't care what she does to her own body. Recently, she got it all done. She got Botox and fillers and a breast augmentation and like 5 sessions of this body sculpting thing. Yesterday, I heard from a few colleges that I got accepted to. My mom got very quiet and admitted to using my money for her plastic surgery. I lost it, and I told her that I was going to explore my legal options. I said I wasn't responsible for funding her surgery and that I was moving out within the next week because she violated me and stole from me. She tried to fight it, but I ended up leaving and going to my friends. My father and extended family keep calling and texting me and saying it's not a big deal. They keep saying I could just take out a student loan. My dad said my mom raised me and I live at home rent-free, so I pretty much owe her. But I think that I worked hard to get my money and I should sue my mom if I can. But maybe I'm just being stubborn. Am I the asshole?
Wow.
Damn.
That's a good one also. I definitely don't think she should bring her mom to court. I think that's
Damn.
that's
a
just
hard one.
going
Ugh.
over the. I just don't agree with that. I mean, I do feel the mom was wrong to
Obviously, the mom
Steal
was like,
the
how could she steal her money for like Botox? That's so selfish.
Well,
That
don't
is
say
so
for
selfish.
Botox to her. Maybe she was really feeling
It was for
self-conscious, very unhappy in her own skin, very depressed that she was getting older looking. You're so beautiful and young that you don't feel this
no,
stuff.
but to steal from your child, like
Right. Well, that she should never have done. She should have asked.
Especially from her college fund. I mean, like, that's her daughter's future.
Right. I guess, you have to look at both sides of everything. Maybe the mom felt desperate and was very, very depressed in life. Of course, she shouldn't have taken from her daughter. Nobody should steal from your child. You shouldn't steal from your child. Maybe she should have had that conversation with her daughter and asked her, please, would you help me? I'm depressed. I need a lift. I need something to feel good about myself again. Could I borrow some money? But she shouldn't have stole, but her daughter shouldn't bring her to court either. It's still her mom.
So what is she supposed to do? There's no solution there. I mean, the reason she's bringing her to court is because she wants her money back.
The money's gone, so she's not going to get the money back. Obviously, if she had to take from her daughter, then she didn't have money of her own. So the money's gone, and you're just like putting more, more heartache on
and it's going to cost her more money to take her to court. But like, do you agree that her mom's entitled to her money because she lives at her mom's house?
No, I don't agree that. I mean, I know what they're saying. They're saying that, oh, well, I brought you up. I spent all this money on you. But no,
that's such an old mentality.
The daughter, right. The daughter worked. She worked hard. She put money away so she would have this college fund. She was proud of her college fund. Mm-hmm. She was proud she worked to be able to go to college. So, but you don't take your mom to court. Your mom is still your mom, and she did wrong. Not saying she didn't do wrong, but she's not going to get the money back, and it's just causing more, like they'll never come together again after that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. I think what her mom did is so terrible. I don't think they'll come together again, even if they don't go to court. Like, I mean, that takes a lot. Her mom needs to pay her back. She needs to find a way. It shouldn't be. I feel like her mom is in this thing. Well, I raised you, and you lived under my roof, and it's fine. You'll make the money back. But she shouldn't have to be making the money back. Her mom should be making the money back and be paying her back for taking her mom. Like, it's okay if you want to maybe borrow money. She should have asked first, but she needs to pay her daughter back.
She should definitely pay her daughter back, but you know what the mom is thinking? The mom is thinking exactly what you just said. I brought you up.
That's so bad.
I spent all this money on you since the day you were born, so now you owe me. But she doesn't own her.
Right, and she also didn't choose to be born. Like, you chose to have a child, and that responsibility comes with it.
Right.
And she did it. And she told her when she was young, I'm not going to pay for your college. So if you want to go, you need to start a college fund. And she did just that. She respected her mom's wishes, didn't ask for it from her mom, but then her mom stole from her. Like, that's not okay.
Right, because she feels she's the mom, but that's definitely not okay. And that was very, very hurtful. And I think with the two of them, they should try to go to counseling together because they are still mother and daughter. And I do feel that, but you don't bring your mom to court because that's going to a whole nother level, and you're not going to gain anything out of it, even if you do go to court. So I would say to them they should go to counseling.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's a stinky situation.
Yes, it is. It is. Of course, the daughter probably will never be able to trust her mom again, and that's really, really sad because the mom definitely...
I personally wouldn't, if I was in that situation, I wouldn't take you to court, but I'd be very upset at you. I probably wouldn't talk to you for a long time until you make it up to me because,
And that alone would be so hurtful. When you don't talk to me for a day, I'm hurt. And you're upset at me and you don't call me on the phone and I call you and you don't pick up, I'm devastated. So I don't know how I would handle that. I would beg, borrow, and steal to get that money back to you. That's for sure.
That's so funny. It's about that time in our podcast where we're going to hit pause because we have something really exciting that we want to share with you.
We wrote a book together.
That's right. It's called A Bond That Lasts Forever. And basically, it's how we got this close and how you can too. It goes over all of our life's ups and downs, our struggles and obstacles, and became as close as we are today.
We share tips and quotes and actionable steps on how you can create your own ideal relationship. We even share photos on us throughout the years so you can see us on a whole different new level.
It's so true. Anyways, we loved writing this book, but we hope that you love reading it just as much, or maybe even a little bit more. Anyways, you can pick up the book at abondthatlastforever.com. You can get it at Walmart, on Amazon, at Barnes & Nobles,
or wherever you get your books.
Hey, you're stealing my line. Anyways, we hope you love reading it. Now, let's get back to the podcast. Oh, man. Well, good luck, ladies.
Yes.
All right, so the next one, all right, this was actually one from our Chat Around podcast. They wrote into the website. All right, so, it's actually from a guy who wrote, all right, hi, I figured I would message you since my wife loves you both. I figured I should ask someone that she actually admires because maybe she will hear this and relate. I'm going to change a little bit of the story, though, so that she doesn't know it's me. I'm a 43-year-old male who has 3 children. We live in a different state than my siblings and my mom. My family constantly argues with me that they don't get to see my kids or spend much time with us. My wife's family does a family trip, like a family cruise ship trip every year. That's a hard one to say. Every year, which is paid by my mom-in-laws and is always and is also where my family lives, and I do not allow them to come to see me or my kids because it's a tradition with my wife's family. They don't really want to do the excursions with us, and they're willing to drive up 3.5 hours just to at least see the kids while we are at ports for a little bit because they claim they never do. Oh, I guess this is in wherever the port is. Okay. In 2020, I went to my brother's wedding and told them that I couldn't afford to take the kids because it's a lot for my family. They offered to pay for my children to come, but my wife and I declined because it would be just too much traveling with 3 kids. So we left them with my wife's family. They constantly give me crap about making no effort to allow them to see my children, but I don't think it's such a big deal. I do not allow them to spend Christmas or holidays with us because holidays are a tradition with my wife's family. So I call those blackout dates and I tell my family those dates are just off limits. My brother claims that I'm a piece of shit because my kids hardly know who their grandma and other family is, and I just don't think that's right. We're constantly arguing about it, and they just don't seem to understand that when you get older, this is what happens. I explain the traditions to them, and they completely disagree and say that I should start new traditions. But my wife's family has been doing this for many years, and for holidays and the cruise ships, they make attempts to come visit us, but only for a few days out of the year because we all have different schedules, and it's hard to work around. In the past 6 years of my children being born, I've maybe seen my family 7 times, and that's only when they fly and visit me. I live in a 2-mile proximity to my wife's family, so it's easier for all of us to have get-togethers and share holidays and birthdays. I don't think that I'm being an asshole. I don't think that this is such a big deal, but can you please tell me?
He is being an asshole, and he is a piece of shit. I'm sorry. This is just beyond.
Wow.
It is so sad. You know, being a mother-in-law is so hard. And I really say that he should find time for his family too, who wants to see those grandkids, who wants to be part of their life too. And it's so sad that his wife is totally monopolizing his whole life, his whole situation, and keeping their children away from his family too, who wants to be part. It is just beyond horrible. Horrible.
Wow. I hope you're listening here.
Yes.
Oh my goodness. Yeah. he forgot his family. He literally forgot his own family.
And it's so sad, and I'm sure his family are heartbroken and are so hurt inside. And why does it have to be that way? Why is it when you get married a lot of times the daughter-in-law has to dislike his family, her mother-in-law? What for? Why can't everyone be close together and have both sides of the family and make it like really fabulous? Why do you have to divide? It's just so wrong, and it's so hurtful when you can have everything,
Wow. You are very passionate about this topic.
I'm very passionate on this topic because, it's really hurtful. I have sons too, and I would never want that to happen to me. So I feel for his parents very, very much. And there's no reason for that. You could have both. So why not have both? And why is it a lot of times the daughter-in-law will pick on the mother-in-law? But if her mother says that, then it's okay. It's just so sad. Like you're always walking on eggshells when you're a mother-in-law. And it shouldn't have to be like that.
Yeah. I totally agree. Could not agree with you more. I notice it like all the time. All of my friends like don't like their mother-in-laws. And it's sad.
So sad.
They feel, I think they just like, I don't know what it is. Like, why do women hate their mother-in-laws so much? I loved my mother-in-law. I don't get it.
Do they feel there's a competition to their son, which is so ridiculous? You're the mom. You're not competing. You're not a wife. You're not a girlfriend. You're not competing. It's a different kind of love. It's a different kind of connection. So I just don't understand it. But I hear from so many other friends of mine how the troubles they have with their daughter-in-laws, and it doesn't have to be that way.
I think in this case specifically, though, the fact that they were willing to pay to have your children come to the wedding and then you decided not to, it's like you're looking for every excuse in the book to not see your own family. And your wife's not helping either.
No.
Your wife should be supporting you to go see your family. She should be, if you don't go then, like your wife should be coming up with a new time to go see your family, especially if you're seeing her family all the time.
Right.
Your family should be just as important to her as her own family, because you're all one big happy family now, or you should be. At least that's what you should be striving to do. Just because you marry someone does not mean you should forget your own family, especially family who wants to be a part of your life.
Right.
So,
I mean, don't forget, your mom raised you. Your mom and dad brought you up, and you had a good childhood, and like Cher was saying, they want to be part of your life. So how can you actually say no to that? It's so hurtful. And it's not fair to your children either. It's not fair to the grandkids that they don't get part of and see their grandparents either. It's just not fair.
It's true. They could be really close with them if you allowed them to have that opportunity. So it is very interesting, though, that a lot of women don't like their mother-in-laws or not close.
Right. I think it is very interesting, and I don't know why. I think that maybe like everyone is brought up a little differently, and you're combining two families, and you're used to certain ways, and then if your in-law says it this way, they just look at it like, oh, I would never do it this way, instead of being more open and understanding it's that way. But
I think it's that, if your mom says something that annoys you, it's like, whatever, it's my mom, I get it, like I know her already. But when your mother-in-law says it, a lot of times you're like, oh, it's my mother. Like you don't have that same feeling. You're like, that wasn't nice that she said that, because you don't really understand her humor necessarily yet, and so you feel like that's not nice, or you feel like, oh, she feels entitled. And there's so much that you don't understand how many people, like, I feel like all of my friends, I feel like maybe there's one that I know that gets along with their mother-in-law.
I think you guys should be stronger and put your foot down and say, I still want my family involved. I kind of blame it on the guys also. Because
for you, sir, this was your issue as well.
Yeah, it's really his issue, because he has a family too. So I think it's really a shame that the guys just go along with the girls, these women, and it's terrible. They should be able to put their foot down and say, I have a family too, and we need to make sure that you're being fair to my family also.
You say all of this, Mom,
yes,
but you were not very close with your mother-in-law.
I tried to be, though. That's a difference. I actually tried to be. I wasn't because I had a lot of hurt that went on, but I've always tried, and I kept trying after each episode that happened. Like, one episode it was my birthday one year, and we were all supposed to meet his family for dinner. And Daddy and I went to the restaurant to eat dinner, to wait for everyone to show up. And Daddy's brother came, and we were waiting. And then all of a sudden, Daddy gets a phone call that his mom and dad aren't coming because they went to the airport to pick up my sister-in-law, whose plane is delayed, and they're going to just wait at the airport instead. So they never had a birthday dinner with me, or they never even.
But they probably were planning to come. They were planning to come.
But the daughter's plane was delayed for 2 hours. They could have came and went there, or they could have said, you know what, let me take a rain check, and we'll all go out another day. It was totally forgotten. So that was just like really hurtful, and so that was one thing.
So you just stopped being close with them after that?
No, that wasn't that. And then there was a lot of things that happened, and I always tried. Like, what
did you do to try?
Oh, we always celebrated their birthdays and holidays and brought them nice, beautiful gifts for, Mom's gift for the holiday and everything. Oh, there was one year that it was Mom's birthday, my mother-in-law's birthday, and she only wanted to go to this loud restaurant with a band, and my son was just born, and I didn't want the loud music, and I said, listen, why don't just everyone come to the house? I don't want the music. It's so loud. It's a big nightclub. The more important thing is everyone to be together. Let's just have it in my house. No, they went to the restaurant and we just didn't go, because I didn't have anyone babysitting,
Well, she probably felt, in her defense, I feel like there's always two sides of the story.
Yes.
I feel like most people don't do things to be mean. They do them because that's what they just want to do. She probably felt, well, it's my birthday. This is where I want to go. So let's just go here. And if you can't come, that's fine. That's on you. But I want to go here. Not necessarily we didn't want Dawn there. I think there's always like two sides to every story.
Well, I felt it's more important to be to for
that
a
was
birthday. I would have had a cake. I would have had a great dinner set up.
But that was what you felt.
Because I had a child. To tell her their child.
Yeah, and I understand why you couldn't come. I totally get why you couldn't come.
But they couldn't get that.
Were they mad at you for not coming?
Yes, they were.
They probably said, well, just hire a babysitter.
Well, I wasn't hiring. I didn't have a babysitter to hire. So I didn't have a babysitter to hire. So I wasn't able to come. So
I think that most people do things not to hurt another person, but because they're just doing what they want, Right?
Right. Right. But I did try. So I've always tried. And every time there was something and another thing, I've always said, okay, let's move on and try again. And then something else would happen. So it was always hurtful. I couldn't ever get one step ahead.
Right.
So that was the problem.
Right. I feel like that's when you just have to sit down and talk. Did she ever know how you felt?
I'll give you another instant. She would send birthday cards that said daughter-in-law and sign it Mom Hubsher. So I said to her, you don't have to sign it Mom Hubsher. You're my mom. You don't have to be so formal and sign it Mom Hubsher anymore. Still always signed it Mom Hubsher.
But that's just how she did it, though. That doesn't mean it's a bad. That's not like a mean thing.
Well, it didn't.
She's
have
saying
to,
I'm the Mom
telling
Hubsher.
Her my feelings.
Okay, that's not you telling her your feelings. You're saying you don't have to do it, but she likes doing it. What's the big deal of that?
It was making it distinct that she didn't want to be my mom too. That's how I saw it.
No,
as.
she just wanted to be known as Mom Hubsher.
No, always a daughter-in-law mom. But I always gave her a mom card. I never gave her a mom-in-law card.
But that was you. See, this is the thing. That was you. Just because you gave her a mom card doesn't mean that's the right way to do it. You could have given a mother-in-law card. Maybe she would have liked a mother-in-law card. But that's you.
But if you tell someone your feelings and you tell someone you would love to be part of the family, and I wouldn't, and I would love you to think of me as your daughter too, would you purposely then continue doing it that way?
Maybe she does that to all of her all of her sons.
Well, we were the only ones married at the time.
Well,
if you express your feelings,
but maybe she didn't want to be your
mom.
She wanted to be just a mother-in-law to you. Doesn't mean it's a bad thing, but she did not want to be your mom. She had her own kids. She wanted to be your mother-in-law. Doesn't mean it's mean.
Well, that she didn't want to be as close.
No, it just doesn't mean she doesn't want to be close. She just doesn't want to be your mom. She has her own kids. She wants to be known as your mother-in-law. And that's okay. I think there's always another side.
I'm not saying there's not another side. I just felt that it wasn't the right side.
Yeah, but
that's
just
how I felt.
Yeah, because you're very, you are very sweet and you put out your energy and you feel like everyone should have the same energy.
You
not
hope
everyone
for
has
the
that.
same
No,
energy.
but not everybody has that. Doesn't mean it's right or wrong.
Well,
It's
you
just
think
different.
it was right when no one celebrated my birthday, but every year we still celebrated her birthday?
No, but that's being tit for tat.
I still did it, but it was just hurtful. Why couldn't she celebrate the birthday too?
No, she could have.
Right. Why was it just totally forgotten?
Because she, in her mind,
She stood us up for dinner.
I get that, but in her mind, she probably said, "Oh, I missed the dinner. Okay," and then moved on. You were probably still waiting for. It's just a dinner. She probably figured, "I'll see you next week, or I'll see you next time."
Well, she didn't have to tell us as we're all sitting at the dinner
Right,
table.
that wasn't right, but it also wasn't correct, but it wasn't like a planned out thing.
But it was because the plane wasn't coming in for another 2 hours.
Right,
So
but
she could have had dinner and then gone.
How far was the restaurant?
The restaurant was in Brooklyn and the plane was 25, 30 minutes away. She could have done both. So that's why it was hurtful.
Right, but she felt it was already delayed. I'm already here. I'm not going to leave and come back. It's a lot. I'm older,
Wasn't so old.
Yeah, but,
No.
people just feel like, oh, it's just a lot. I'm not going to just leave and come back. I'm already here. I'm just going to grab a bite to eat here. I'm not saying it was right, but to her, I don't think she did it to hurt you. She wasn't like, oh, I'm going to stand up Dawn tonight. She didn't plan for the plane to get delayed.
Well, if they knew a plane was coming in that day, they should have just said, whatever, let's just make it another time, not just, we're all at the table. Literally at the table waiting and waiting.
But here's the question. Did she ever know that you were hurt by her actions?
Yes, because Daddy was screamed at her. Daddy was screaming at her.
That night?
How can you not come? Or just come and then go?
What'd she say?
I don't know what she said. I wasn't on the phone. Oh, here's another one.
Oh, no.
He paid for her plane to come one holiday to come visit us when we were in Florida, and all excited to have her clean the whole house, everything. She took and we didn't have a lot of money starting out. She actually switched the plane and went to visit her daughter and never told us.
Wait, what do you mean? She didn't come?
Yeah.
Wait, that's confusing. So you paid for her flight to come visit you. Did she end up visiting you? Or she never came? She never came.
She took the money from the plane and went to visit her daughter.
How could she do that? Wait, what do you mean? What was her excuse for not coming? That's a bad one.
That was a bad one.
That was bad.
Yeah.
So what did she do? How did she do that?
She just I don't remember the excuse she said, but it was really hurtful because we found out that she switched the plane.
Was it that same date? The same date?
It was for the holiday. So she took it and she ended up going to visit.
So you never got your money back from the plane?
No.
Are you serious?
Yeah.
That's really bad.
That was bad.
So did Daddy keep talking to her after that?
Yeah, we always still talked. We never talked again. But there were times, we didn't talk for a couple, months or something. But then we would always talk again because it's still his mother. We always said it's still mom. But it was hurtful. We couldn't understand why she wouldn't come visit us. We paid for her plane to come and she didn't come. And She did that a lot, though, with, like, I would invite her for dinner, and clean up the whole house and have a nice dinner all prepared, actually cook the dinner, and then 15 minutes before she's supposed to arrive, she'd call up and make an excuse. And it didn't happen just one time. And I still let it go. So, well, like, there's so much I could take, but it's not like I didn't try. So I always feel like, I know it's his mom, and he gets upset but I always said I tried. It's not like I didn't really try.
So when does enough become enough?
I don't think it ever becomes enough because it's still family, so you always keep trying. So I always did, and I always did get hurt, did a lot of crying,
Really?
a lot of crying, because it did really hurt me, because I've always tried it. It just couldn't work out. And I wanted it. I wanted that family to be everyone, That's what I wanted. So that's why it doesn't have to be like that. You don't have to have stigmas of mother-in-laws. You try. And I bet you if you really did try as a daughter-in-law, and the mother-in-law will want it too. I can't see why not, as if they're close with the family. It just puts such a strain on everybody, and it doesn't have to be that way.
Right, family should be family, but not everyone feels that way, I guess.
What?
I guess just not everybody feels that way. I don't know.
Right. I don't know why. It shouldn't.
But then that's not on you. At least you can walk away knowing that wasn't on you, is that you tried, and if she doesn't accept it, then that's on her. Right. I think that's what everyone has, because it's like, when does enough? Like, you don't want to keep putting yourself out there either and just keep getting hurt. Right. When do you start? Like, you know what I mean? Like, it's not okay to just allow someone to walk all over you either.
But you're always hoping next time will be better. That's how I look. You're always hoping next time will be better. And Daddy wants his family there too. So you're always hoping, okay, let's move on. Today's another day. Maybe today will be good. Maybe this will work out today.
But eventually you almost become like hardened to it, I feel like, right?
Yeah, you're just so hurt. You just don't know what to do anymore,
I think that when something like that happens, eventually you have to just like not keep trying, keep putting yourself out there, and you just keep just like if your husband wants to try, you support him, but you don't have to be the one to initiate anymore. You know what I mean? Because like in the case that we just read previously, his wife does not sound like she was trying at all.
No, that was terrible.
That was terrible. But
he was getting no support.
Right. But you really were trying, and you've tried so hard. So if she doesn't accept that, then that's on her. And just because you want a big, happy family doesn't mean that it's going to happen. And that's okay, because you have your own family. When you get married, you create your own family, and that's your opportunity to, to make that family that you want.
Right.
Doesn't have, your in-laws are kind of, you could try, and it's nice to have that too if you can, but it's, you have to.
I guess that's why I just going to say one last thing. And then I guess that's why I get so upset, because I say, why can't like daughter-in-laws not always want, they just want their family once they marry your son. But why can't you have that extended family? I mean, it helps everybody, it could help you too. You don't have to be so divide everything. You don't have to have that division.
It's true. I totally agree. And on that note, thank you all so much for listening to the Chattermouth podcast. And you know what? Let us know what your thoughts are on all of these questions, because I really would love to hear your thoughts and your advice and your opinions. And you know what? If you have a question, you can go ahead to chattermouthpodcast.com and let us know your question, and maybe we will read yours next and then answer it. So anyways, we'll see you all next week.
Bye.